Welcome back to Autism for Badass Moms, the podcast where you already know it's all right to be you. It's all right to be badass. We're here just trying to change the narrative. I am so excited because I love when moms fly in, drive in from all over. And today we have a wonderful guest, DeAngela, who came all the way from Louisiana, y'all. Louisiana. And I was just asking DeAngela about the weather because anything above like 70 for me is too much. It's too much.
Yes, it's hot out there.
It is hot. It is hot. And this episode is going to be so informative. So, whatever you need to do, get your coffee, get your tea, get your wine, whatever, make sure you get it because we're going to be talking about some real stuff. We're going to be talking about FMLA. We're going to be just talking about navigating that world and what it's like for us moms, having children with autism and just the many barriers that come in the way of just being able to try to work. So, on that note, welcome, DeAngela.
Thank you for having me.
Gorgeous.
Thank you.
I wish you could see her shoes. I don't know if you can see her shoes, but they're absolutely beautiful. Now, I want to just get right into your journey with your son, Braden, correct? Braden.
He
He's
called him
5.
Bug
Oh.
for his nickname because he was so little.
So there's a lot here with your story. A lot of things that you and your son have been through.
And a lot of new things that have happened. I say over the course of 3 months.
Oh wow. So I'm excited about the new
Yes.
stuff. The new stuff. So take our listeners back to prior to the diagnosis, what was going on.
So I'm gonna start out by saying, what would you do if in just 90 days you lost your job, your baby, and discovered your nonverbal child had been abused while the system smiled in your face?
Mm.
I'm DeAngela Francis Johnson, and on this episode of Autism for Bad Moms, I share my story, raw, real, and relentless. From wrongful termination to legislative advocacy, from grief to grit, I'm turning pain into policy. I want to talk about postpartum depression, FMLA and caregiver discrimination, surveillance and SPED classes, mental health without shame, and AB 524 bill and the rights for justice in Louisiana.
Okay. That's a lot there. So go back because Braden
Braden
did
was
your
9 months when he was diagnosed with DeGeorge syndrome. DeGeorge syndrome is a chromosome, just a missing chromosome, meaning that his chromosome 22 is partially missing.
Okay. And how would that affect an individual?
It can affect a child in several ways. It can do facial, it can do heart, immunology, immune system. So he has a team and development. So he has a team of doctors that he goes to a children's hospital in Dallas. That's very good. They follow him through his journey, and he's treated by each one of those individual doctors and just making sure everything is in place.
So a lot of intensive like specialists.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay.
So the only thing that we've noticed so far that he's had to be a part of was the developmental and behavioral part because he has not spoken. He's nonverbal.
Okay.
And so he just got that diagnosis on May 7th, 2024.
Oh, recent. Recent.
May 8th. I'm sorry, May 8th.
Okay. Now he was diagnosed with DeGeorge syndrome
at about 9 months.
9 months.
Because I was very intuitive with all my children. I just know what parts they're supposed to be in. You know, what stages, what milestones they're supposed to be hitting, and he wasn't hitting them.
Okay. And so our viewers know you're a nurse practitioner.
I'm a dual certified nurse practitioner. I'm certified in family medicine and psychiatry.
Okay. Say that a couple of times. Now you have your beautiful child. You have other children.
I do. I have 5 boys.
5. Ooh, the boys. 5 boys.
Yes.
Okay. Trying to make a living. Now, were you working and then took leave?
Okay, so I had been working at my last employer for I got pregnant right off. Like months. In October of 2023, I got pregnant. Now, I worked the entire pregnancy, but I was high risk and having to see doctors every week, every 2 like it was a lot. It was a hard pregnancy. And my feet were swollen a lot this time. I didn't know why, but I quickly will find out why, because on March 3rd, unexpectedly, March 6th, I unexpectedly went to the doctor for just a weekly checkup, and he told me I was going to the hospital because my blood pressure was out of control. So I had preeclampsia, which led to me having to led me to have to go into emergency C-section, and he was put into NICU because he was early.
How early?
He was, I think I was 35 weeks, something like that. 35, 34, something like that, weeks. And he weighed 4 pounds, 2 ounces, and he wasn't drinking. He didn't get the suckling yet. So they put him in there. He stayed like 2 weeks. And the main thing of what caused my postpartum depression was going home without him. It was on Mother's Day. I had to stay in the hospital for 6 days I had to get blood. My body had almost shut down because of the preeclampsia, so I had to stay longer. But it was just a horrible experience. And then while I'm in there, because Braden's appointment was May 8th, so I had the baby May 6th. So May 8th, I found out that Braden had the autism and moderate to severe autism on top of the DeGeorge syndrome.
You didn't have no time to breathe. Like this, it just went real fast.
Boom, boom, boom.
Boom, boom, boom. Trying to, swollen feet, going for your, typical appointment, which wasn't too typical because it seemed like it was a risky pregnancy. And then it's like, no, you're going to the hospital, have this child, and then there's, hey, that your child is diagnosed with this, and I understand the leaving the hospital without your child. It's just there's no feeling like that. It
was on Mother's Day.
And on Mother's Day. And on Mother's Day. Yeah. And so how soon did that postpartum depression come into play?
I think it started as soon as I was in the hospital, and it did. I started on sertraline while I was in the hospital.
Okay.
So I'm still on it. But then lost my train of thought.
No, it's okay. So you have your child, and like you said before, you had worked, the whole time, as long as you could.
I worked the whole time as long as I could until that day that I was supposed to go back to work the following Monday. It was on the Friday, March 3rd. May 3rd was my last day. Monday was my appointment. I was supposed to go back the next day.
Now, how was the job with that, right? Because you couldn't.
At first, that was so, helpful and I felt like, wow, this could be a little different from my other places because it's like this at everywhere we go. It's sad to say it, but I have not found anybody who said that their employer is just so understanding and will work with them and make sure that they are able to take care of their child. And I haven't seen it. Let me know. I'll put in an application. But nursing world, my world, nursing and the hospitals and outpatient clinics, they don't really.
So this is a whole new world for you with your son's diagnoses. You have other children. That's a lot too. You're trying to get your mental health, managed. Now, during this period of time, you were out. Was it paid time out? How did that work?
It was FM. Okay, so at first I was not eligible for FMLA because I had just came to the company.
Okay.
I would not have been eligible until July 17th.
Okay.
Of that year. But my doctor did go ahead and do my paperwork. So that we did do. But the other months, I was told that it would be leave without pay, which that's on the chick stubs. It was done with leave without pay. So I was fine with it. I had prepared myself for it. And FMLA, I had not even got enough hours for it. So I knew I was not going to have any income coming from them while I was out on FMLA.
Okay. So you already knew that. Okay. Yes. And during this period of time, how was, with, coming back into the workforce? Because for anyone going back into the workforce, it's hard because it's trying to manage now life. How do I work? How do I balance?
Well, I went back under reasonable accommodations because I stayed out longer due to the postpartum depression. So I came back under reasonable accommodations per my licensed therapist. She did not want me to go back in full time. At first, she wanted me to ease my way back in. So she told me I could work 3 days a week
Okay.
and go back up into it as I could, but she would let me know.
And I was going to ask you to explain that because I think there's some moms out there who was like, oh, what does that mean, the reasonable accommodation?
So reasonable accommodations can be for a number of reasons, like for even breastfeeding. You need a reasonable accommodation because you need them to set out times for you to go and breastfeed. You would think you wouldn't have to tell them that, but you do. And you need to get it in writing because they'll always say something bad about it. So make sure you are getting reasonable accommodations for everything you could think of. Reasonable accommodation is to help people with a disability that they cannot cope with, and it helps them in the workplace, helps them come back to work and be able to they reasonably accommodate you.
Yeah. Well, so what was your tip? So you said you went back 3 days. What was your typical shift that? Or
So I went back. I was first I was full time Monday through Friday,
okay,
8 to 5. And on we worked a long day on Tuesdays 9 to 6. So I came back working Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, which my schedule was gonna give me 24 hours a day. So it was okay. And in my my letter from the therapist, she had some pretty much laid out the reasonable accommodation that she wanted for me in order for me to be successful and back in my working environment. And from what I was seeing, it was not taken seriously. None of them were put into action or even, I guess like made like a standard for me, saying that no, she can't do that because she's with this right now. So it just let everything keep on going like it was in them 3 days.
So I'm just trying to. So the process was, your therapist had wrote, hey, this is what she needs to be able to be successful, and then that went to human resource. That went
through human resources.
Okay.
Went through it, the channels that it needs to go through in order for them to approve it.
Now, do they agree, like right off the bat? Like, do you know? Okay, yes, this is what you're getting. That we're
Yes,
approving this.
they actually signed. I had to sign something. They had to
Okay.
sign something saying they're okay with the reasonable accommodation.
Okay. So you go back, but there wasn't accommodations or
No. They actually, I did not know this, but they actually made me go part-time. I was a salary paid person. So they made me go part-time, and that lowered my yearly. But I didn't know that they weren't supposed to do that. You are not supposed to change somebody's pay status or their status as from full-time to part-time if they go out if they are on a reasonable accommodation. You can't do that.
Now, how long was the reasonable accommodation? Is there like a time frame for that?
It was just a time frame that she would go back and she would look at it again and see where we was, and then she go further from there.
Were there other areas where you felt not supported by the company?
So one of the reasonable accommodations was taking it back, coming back in to work slowly. And also enforcing the no-show policy. The company I work for, they believe if the patient comes at any time, they can be seen. Well, it's putting me behind, and it's causing anxiety because I have to hurry up with these patients to get this patient seen before the doors close, and I don't like that.
Oh, okay.
So that's why it was causing stress. Anything that would cause stress, she was trying to get rid of it in the workplace. I had enough going on already, but they didn't care.
So it was making more stress. And then I can't even imagine about with regards to the appointments that your son had and the specialist and the phone calls, I'm sure.
Schools calling. And he had just got their diagnosis for the moderate to severe autism, the true diagnosis for it. And so I had to go worry about doctor's appointments for him. My other son was early. He had doctor's appointments. He also got Kawasaki disease as well. He was in the hospital for like a week and a half, and he had to go through a cardiologist and be on aspirin and everything for a little while. My little bitty baby.
Now, during this period of time, were you telling them like, "Hey, like this is"?
They were very knowledgeable about everything. It was not a secret.
And what would their response be when
They were like, I would say they were not. They were okay at first until I started taking FMLA for my children, because after they got sick, my my doctor, their doctor, the pediatrician, told me that I needed to do FMLA paperwork for both of them because they were needing doctor's appointments every other day. So she did that. And they were approved.
Okay.
And so you start to noticing. At first, my supervisor told me to try to get those appointments for my boys in my days off, like Thursdays and Fridays, which I was going to try to do anyway. But if my child is sick, or if my child has a specialist appointment that cannot be found for 3 months, I'm going to take the first one they have. If it's on a Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday, you're just going to get an FMLA. So that's what jobs don't understand. They think that, yes, you are supposed to be working with your employer, but they are also supposed to be working with you. FMLA is a law. You have to abide by it. FMLA says intermittent FMLA. If a person has a doctor's appointment, or it could be pre-planned, like tell them, yes, this is what I would do, give them pre-planned.
Yeah.
But it would always be on a Thursday or Friday. Like it was seldom that I would need to be a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, because I needed my money, to tell you the truth. So it was somewhat difficult sometimes to get the cardiologist appointments on those days, so I had to get whatever they gave me, and I did not care. My child came first. So that was it was when I started taking FMLA on them days that I was there on Thursdays and Fridays.
That it became a more of an issue.
Tuesday, Wednesday. That's when you started to see a change. You started to see how they were not recognizing me for things. However, I still did my job to the fullest, a great job. And because I loved the population I was working with, the underserved families from not a good population that they're living in.
Yeah.
So, and I grew up there in that same population. So it kind of was like near and dear to me.
Of course.
So, while I'm working there, I'm helping individuals, mamas and daddies who don't know what an IEP or a 504 is. I'm teaching them everything they need to know how to advocate for their children. And I felt like my work was helpful.
Valuable, yeah.
Valuable, and I was helping.
Yeah.
I got nominated and chosen for the ANA Rising Star under 30, under 40. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I was 40 under 40 for Rising Stars in the ANA. My poster presentation, I entered a poster presentation in for the APNA conference. And it got accepted into it for my research that I was doing on like IEPs and 504s as well.
So you loved your job, truly passionate about it, giving back to your job, and your job just was not working with you with regards to those days. When you started taking those
emails, I could start to see in emails that it was some tension. It's just noticeable.
Okay.
And it's like unnoticeable, noticeable. It's like, I don't know how to say.
No, I know those emails.
Yes. It's like little things here. Like my like on a FMLA, you have certain, when you intermediate, it'll say like 2 episodes a month, right? So say my FMLAs on both of my babies, things said 2 days out of a month she should need to do intermittent FMLA. Well, the first day I would take FMLA on a Monday, if it would have to be, which I try not to do, they would call me that same day or write an email saying, hey, you've used one FMLA day for the day. You just know you just have.
Oh, okay. Just reminding you that you have like, one more.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for that particular child. But I have 2 more over here for the other child. So I don't think they didn't like that. And so you start seeing changes in people nitpicking, like retaliation, stuff like that, just doing wrong things. Like I I did something that a nurse practitioner always does. And psych, especially, we're mandated reporters.
Yeah.
So if something is not being done correctly, the person, you have the right to go and um if you need to go up higher than them
Mhm.
and make a complaint. So I did inquire about some IEPs that my patients had been telling me. A high school was not doing IEPs and 504s in a timely manner, and they had some that were coming up that were expiring soon. I don't know if you know about IEPs and 504s. When they're expiring, you have to go through a process. You have to find a parent. You have to let them know that they have an appointment, and they have to sign saying they're coming and all that. So I don't know how you gonna do that before summer break when you had almost over 100. But I told them as long as none are delinquent, I'm fine. But I hope. And I said, yeah, I have a plan. She said we're working on it diligently, and I left it at that. Well, that turned into a reason for them, like a pretext for them to say, "Oh, she's not supposed to do that on company time. When am I supposed to do it?" And that's in your own policy that I'm supposed to make sure that the my client is taken care of. That's a part of it. His IEP is what helps him. His in school
Right.
and everywhere else in his life. So I feel like it was just a reason for them. They even when I read them their own policy, they're like, "Well, we're we're still doing it." They have a reason.
Were you during this period of time fearful that wait, I don't know if I'm gonna lose my job? Like,
No, I was not fearful.
no, okay.
No, because I knew I was doing the right thing.
Yeah.
I knew that I was working the best way I could for the patient. I'm not the kind of practitioner that is going to hurry along on a person, not going to try to meet a certain quota and all that kind of stuff. The patient matters first. Okay? Not numbers or numbers of encounters you can get.
Yeah.
And this is what the medical world needs to understand about all these inpatient or outpatient clinics. They need to know that the patient comes first, and that person does not care about them only having a 15-minute block for a follow-up visit. If they have something that they need to share with me, they want to share it with me, and I'm going to allow it because I don't want them to feel like I'm being dismissive of them or their feelings.
So, you're trying to manage some of the stressors, at home and navigate that new world. You're dealing with these passive aggressive, maybe we want to say,
Yes, that's what it was.
yes, stressors. When did it come to a head?
So on like the beginning of May 2024, 2025, May 2025, they called me in the office after their phone call with the school board, which I felt like it ended amicably. We exchanged names and numbers and everything. Said, if you need anything else, just call us. I was like, okay, thank you. So, I got called into the office on May. I forgot what day it was, but I got called to the main office, and I was wondering why. And they asked me a question, said, "Did you call the school board on this so and so day?" I said, "Yes," and I've done it several other times too. And so she tried to say that was not against company policy and that I was using my name for gain. I was like, no. I was telling them where I worked so that they would know that I had the clients in this area and that it's just my job. I'm a mandated reporter. I'm a nurse practitioner. IEPs and 504s are what we do. We help with. We get them started, but sometimes we write for them to get it. So I don't understand where I was out of scope at. So yeah, they said that was the reason for my firing. Yet I know the real reason was because I was taking FMLA and doing taking advantage of my rights, FMLA and under the ADA, my reasonable accommodations. They were not willing to keep it going.
Why I think this topic is so important, is because in the special needs world, in the autism world, a lot of times there's just not autism. There's other conditions that go along with it. There's many employers don't understand the needs that mom has, whether it's appointments and mental health, right? That mental health piece too, or
I don't think it's employees. I think it's the world.
the world.
The world doesn't know what we go through. That's like almost like birthing another child, because when you get that diagnosis, it's like it's new, and it's like you have to recover from that, because it's depressing.
Yeah,
it's heartbreaking that your child is going to have this type of illness for the rest of his life. So I would challenge the world to know that, hey, maybe these people need a time off when they get a new diagnosis like these. Time to reflect and time to make choices about therapies and how they want to treat their child's disability.
Well, let's get into that, because a lot of times people will say, well, people can, have issues with things, but they don't come up with solutions. And so there's some things that you thought about that would be helpful. What are some of those?
So if you know FMLA, you have to be with that person for a year. That employer for a year. They have to meet certain standards too. They have to have like over 51 workers or something like that in a time. It's a lot of
1,250 hours.
1,000, all those requirements before you get FMLA. Well, what about parents with kids that are caregivers? We can't tell our child to hold up, wait, don't get sick for 1,200. It's just ridiculous. I'm sorry. The FMLA is outdated. It needs to be revamped, and it's just the truth. Reasonable accommodations is another one. Reasonable accommodations only puts the person's disability in mind, not the child.
Got it.
The child is an extension of me. I take care of that child. So why isn't that child able to get why am I not able to get a reasonable accommodation for my child? He needs to go to the doctor. Reasonable accommodation will help. It's just, I don't know.
That makes a lot of sense.
He can't take himself to the doctor.
You're right. That makes a lot of sense. And what do you think we haven't gotten there yet?
Stuck. Everything, no willingness to be innovative and think further about how far this world has come, how women are beginning to be the main breadwinners for families, and just saying that it just feels like it's 1950s. Women bear children and they stay at home and barefoot and pregnant all the time. No, it does not go like that now.
So, hearing you with the not being innovative with it, sometimes we do have to revisit these things, right? Like, years and years, because people change, right? People change. And even, within the autism community, majority of households are run by a single mom, right? So we have to take that into consideration. And do I have other family members who are capable of caring, for my child? Because, certain children have certain needs, and, some parents may not be equipped, or we may not trust certain people because we don't know them with our child because they may be non-speaking. So there's just so many variables that could be going on.
But it's a lot of things that can help them out there. Like, I know if y'all not aware of EPSDT hours, where you can get somebody to come into the home. You can even pick the person to come in your home, so you can get services like respite, help with your baby, getting them ready for school the next day, feeding them, bathing them, just little things to keep you from being so stressed out and doing other things with the other children, but still paying attention to him. Like, I have somebody to come in now. She tutors him a little while, and then she gets him ready for bed, and I tend to the other children.
Now, is that in every state, or I'm just trying to figure out that?
Now, this is Louisiana I'm talking about.
Okay.
So I don't know it, but I know that they have programs like this everywhere. Now, we have a center in Louisiana. I'm on the board for Families Helping Families.
Okay.
It's a nonprofit, and it helps families navigate things like these IEPs and 504s and getting their children the help that they need and the resources they need.
That's incredible.
So Families Helping Families is out there in Louisiana, I believe, Region 7, Region 6, all the regions. But I'm pretty sure it's something up here in New Jersey or everywhere that's just like it.
Yeah, and I think it's just probably just named differently because we have in Jersey respite where you get a certain where you get a certain amount of hours allotted, and you can pick the person to come in. So if you need to do food shopping, but the brushing the teeth and the I don't know about that piece, but
I do that really because he fights. He don't like that part of it lately. I'll tell you why he doesn't like it lately. But he it's also the waiver that they can get. You aware of the waiver?
Well, explain the waiver to our
okay. Well, we have children's choice waiver. You're able to get the children's choice waiver now because they're children. But when they grow up, they'll get another one as they grow, for adulthood and all that. But children's choice right now is what I know about. You have to get something called a sunscreen where they rate your child. If your child has a certain score, they get what is called a children's choice waiver. It's like $20-something thousand a year, every fiscal year for their betterment. Like meaning you can use it towards things that help them with the autism, learning things.
Okay.
All type of things. I bought the
sensory stuff and
sensory stuff.
Okay.
The cubby bed.
Yes. I think there's a lot of moms out there that don't know about that. And I would love to have that resource be put in the show notes.
Yes.
Because again, I think that a lot of us do have it. It's just a different name, to it. And
yeah, it's always a different name somewhere else.
Yeah. Now, going back, you were let go from, your job, and then
I wasn't having it. I knew what they did was wrong.
Okay. And
So I immediately started doing my EELC work.
okay.
Making sure that I was going to have my day so they can know that what they did was wrong and they cannot continue to do this. This is like an ever-going topic, and I understand the process is long and hard, and you will be like, just forget it, but I'm not. I'm going to stay on course, and I'm going to go to anything and everything I need to go to so that they can know that they cannot do this to anyone else, because it only needs to start with one. If you see it, everybody else will fall in line, because people need to start being, like, I guess, adamant about their rights under FMLA, especially when it's dealing with their children.
I think the unfortunate thing is, just like with when you go into like your first IEP meeting, you don't know what you don't know until you start, someone talks to you and says like, hey, you can have an advocate go with you, or you start reading up and then you get a little more savvy with it. But I think in this FMLA world, I think this is a whole new learning, that we need to
be very much so educated on, because it's going to happen that they're going to be like, oh, her child has, I'm totally honest when I come in. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I tell them I have a child with autism, and I'm going to be, at first I have a child with DeGeorge syndrome, and he's nonverbal. But now I know it's autism, so I go in honestly, tell them what's going on and everything before they hire me.
And what do you feel that does?
Sometimes it's bad because I feel like they prejudge you, saying that you're gonna be
out all the time.
Yeah. So that means you're not gonna get the job. And sometimes it's like this last employer, they were okay with it.
I was gonna ask you, since then, how has it been? Because there's not a lot of employers that are flexible. And so it leaves a lot of moms having to find things where maybe the hours, like an overnight or something, or you're working in the community where it's maybe a little more flexibility.
Well, with me, I could do something easily, like I do telehealth, but I have not started back work because of what happened to my youngest baby at 14 months. In July 31st, Bayani Mendoza Johnson passed away peacefully in his sleep. And he that day I felt like I was broken, and I did I want to be totally honest with women. You know, I'm already in a postpartum depression and everything too. Now my baby is like gone, and I I felt like I had no control. I did CPR on him in my home, and I tried to breathe breath back into my baby. I did those compressions. I learned this in school. I learned it every time that car needed to be was expired. I had to go back and get it. I learned compressions, breath. You know, I did that for my baby.
Yeah.
But it didn't work. I prayed to God. I I called upon God loudly and told him, please give me my baby. And he wanted it more. So there's been a lot of hard nights, um, hard days, not want to get out of bed, not want to do anything as simple as brush my teeth or wash my face or wash my ass. I don't want to do nothing. I just want to just lay in my sadness. I want to, but I know my other children need me. I did try to do something to myself. I was suicidal, and I had to go into the hospital. This is things that you need to know. These are things that we need to be honest with ourselves. Right? We go through things like this. I have been raised Christian all my life. I know that it's a no, but at that time, it was like I needed my baby.
Yeah.
I could not see life without him. If he wasn't here, what's the point? Even though I did have my other boys, to worry about, I just felt like they would be taken care of. I don't know. I had rationalized for myself. So I have now been doing grief counseling and also medications through my psychiatrist. And so it's helping, but it's always gonna be you. It's not, you never gonna get over. I don't wish this on anybody. This is the type of thing that doesn't ever go away. It's not it's a pain that hurts me like spiritually, deeply. Like I can feel it when I think about it, I hurt pain. And it's like it's never gonna go away. I know it's not. It's my baby. So I feel like it's just gonna always be there, but I need to learn how to cope with it, if that makes sense.
I think it's, people say, sorry for your loss, or people say, people a lot of times say the wrong things, in this, right? Like it's just you'll be okay. You have to be the one.
In the whole
Yeah.
school. Oh, I'm so tired.
Yeah.
What happened?
Yeah.
What?
But until you're, that those things happen to you, just like with the autism world, right? Until you have been through it, you don't know what you would do, right? Or how, like you said, you would rationalize it. But what happened for you to say, you know what? No, I need to get out of bed. I need to brush my teeth. I need to go to therapy.
August 15th, 2025.
What happened then?
On August 15th, 2025, my child was physically abused in a K-1 special education classroom, self-contained classroom, by a paraprofessional.
So another thing that you did not need to be happening
On top of everything.
on top of everything else. How did you deal with that?
I want to tell you how it made me feel, first of all.
Okay.
I felt like a failure of a mother because I couldn't get Bayani back. Now I have allowed somebody to hurt my child. It's like I'm failing. What am I doing? I've never been not in control of what's going on in my world, my children's world. It's just like I'm losing control, like I'm not a good mama. It's what it's making me feel like. And so I was angry. I wanted to do all things that every mama want to do when you hear somebody has put their hands on your child inappropriately. And I knew that was not the way to go. First of all, I never had a fight in my life. I don't do it. That's what the police are here for. So, but that day I would have if I would have seen her. But I know that it's a bigger thing that needs to be happen from this. And if I feel like that's what God has given me to do for my health past beyond.
Yeah. And so going back, I know in the beginning there was a few points that you had wanted to drive home.
Yeah, so August 15th, 2025 helped me to know that to tell parents, you don't trust anybody. Trust your gut. It was discernment for me. This same person came outside and gave me my child's lips bloody, his teeth bloody, blood actively bleeding. And she kept apologizing. That's what rang not true to me. Like something was wrong because if it was an accident, why are you apologizing excessively? So I was like, it's okay. It was an accident, right? And she said yes. And so she smiled at my child and waved at him and left. And do you know what Braden did? Nonverbal 5-year-old with autism and DeGeorge syndrome. He waved back at her and smiled at her through his broken teeth and his swollen lips. He's innocent. He don't even know what you did to him was wrong.
Now, how'd you find out that?
So on the 18th, discernment. It was her constantly saying she saw it. It did something. So I said, nah, I want to see a camera. So I wasn't sure, but you do need to know that I don't know in what states, but I do know in my state, Louisiana, that cameras are going to be mandatory in all SPED classrooms. So you need to make sure you're finding out information about that, asking for them if it's possible, because I think this is like a federal law. I think it is. So, but I asked if they had the cameras yet because they're not supposed to have them until like January, February or something like that. So, they have started to get them in. So, to my surprise, they had it.
Oh.
And I asked to see the cameras. And on August 27th, from August 15th to 18th when I asked, I had to wait on the principal to get she said the protocol. She needed the protocol to go through in order for me to get to view it. She didn't know it. So she got that. I got that done on 27th. I viewed it. And I saw the tape.
Now, any mom out there to see, your child being harmed in any way.
Yes, you need to know all your rights with FERPA, IDEA, your state's board of education and the federal board side of board of education. You need to know all these things. You need to know your rights through all of them because they all going to play a part in Braden's healing from what his traumatic experience. I'll say this. I'm in litigation with it now, and because of that, I can only speak so much of it. But I saw the tape, so I feel like it's factual, and I need it to be. I don't want to just get compensation out of this. I want change from this. I think I need the world to see what happened to Brady. They need to see because what they just can't take what I'm saying. They need to see it like Mamie Till, I want them to see what they have done to my son. That's what I want them to see. So, he's had treatments. I won't go further into that, but the tape was despicable. It was 2 paraprofessionals and no teacher, no SPED teacher for 10 minutes. That's already a violation. He takes the paraprofessional the slinky tunnel. He goes and sits in the slinky tunnel. You can hear the other paraprofessional on the other side that's right facing them say, oh, he wants you to drag him like so-and-so does. I don't know who so-and-so is. But something like this to that effect. She said that. I was like, drag him? What? I'm still looking crack at that point. So it keeps going. And she said, I don't know. Nah, I'm going to drag him up out of here today. This is what the person said. And she forcefully jerks it and drags the slinky tunnel. And in that moment, you can hear Braden's mouth hit the floor loud. And he instantly starts crying. And he crawls out in the fetal position. He lays in the fetal position holding his mouth. I'm seeing this. She is holding the slinky tunnel in tow, dragging it past him, saying, "I don't know what you're crying about." And the person that crossed him did nothing to intervene or anything, and the teacher's still not back.
I think this is like one of the worst fears, right? That someone.
Because I couldn't believe somebody would try me, because I'm very hands-on. Those teachers hugged me. Those teachers hugged me at the beginning of the year. They knew what happened to my family. The principal prayed for me. Okay, I trusted them way too fast. I should have known better. And what made me feel more trusting, I'm sorry if this is like, what is it? Like, I don't know if it's wrong for me to say or anything like that. They were all black women. It made me trust them even more.
I don't think that there's anything wrong with saying
Yeah,
that.
I felt more comfortable.
Community, yeah.
People of your own, you feel like, okay, he gonna be taken care of.
But the message that I'm hearing here is that, that will definitely, thank goodness you trusted your gut. Trusting your gut and just, just being on your toes, like just being aware, continuing to be present, because unfortunately, especially, my one son, is nonverbal, you don't know.
You don't know.
And my son could
That's
have like
why
a
I
broken
have it.
rib and I wouldn't even know.
Exactly. He does stuff, and he's had surgery twice because he takes foam and puts it up his nose, and we don't have no idea till it gets so rancid, and so we have to stay clear of foam, like none around us, because he did that twice, and we had to get it removed.
Yeah.
So
So
sensory.
yeah. I would want to use this opportunity because I think this is just the perfect time to just go into that advice that you would give that other mother, that other caretaker who, I mean, there's so much that's within this episode, right? Not just the FMLA. There is the PTS, the post-traumatic stress, there is the loss and the grieving. There is trust issues with the school system and abuse.
Now I'm
So
very
much.
hypervigilant. Very hypervigilant. I don't. Brayden is like, well, my child was not scary at all at first. Like, he was daring and explorative. He flinches now for what I don't know, because I never hit him. So why would anybody else get to cause him harm in any way? And he flinches, and he real clinky now, whereas he wasn't before.
Wasn't before.
Yeah.
But what advice would you tell that mom? And I know there's like, again, there's so much.
Well, your child, first of all, if in this case like this, your child has went through trauma, you need to make sure, nonverbal or verbal, he needs to go to some type of counseling. And if it's nonverbal, they have some counseling types that will help. Play therapy, sand therapy, all these type of things will help with them dealing with their trauma. Just because he's 5 and just because he's nonverbal does not mean he does not have feelings.
Good point.
He endures some trauma, and I'm going to make sure that he's treated for it. And also document. Keep everything in the email, a piece of note. I don't care what it is. Keep it in one place.
So definitely the documenting and making sure that you get support for your child. What about with the FMLA? And what if they have an employer that's just not really doing what they're supposed to do and not supportive, and
you're gonna file an EEOC with the EEOC. Just you're gonna file a complaint with the EEOC, and they're gonna let me tell you, it's bagged up. I just got my appointment. Okay, so you're gonna have an appointment, and they're gonna determine if you have a charge or a cause finding, and that's how you move forward. If it's a charge, you go and you get a lawyer. They're saying you have the right to sue. If you have a cause finding, that means that they know that you were discriminated against, or retaliated upon, pretextual, wrongful termination, all that, they know it for a fact from eh, your evidence, and you
Okay.
can go straight into mediation. Ask for what you think is fair for them wrongfully terminating you. I would say he has some legal counsel with you. Um, Also, like activists, they do it too. Like certain activists against things like this, like EEOC activists,
Yeah.
civil rights activists, they will help you with that kind of thing too and be present.
Yeah. So definitely, if you don't know, there are people out there. I always say advocates of all kinds that could help you walk through that process. And I think, one of the important things that you said earlier is that it could be a lengthy process,
It is. It's
but stay the
lengthy.
course.
It's stable. Stay the course. You're gonna feel like I want to quit this. It's never gonna stop. It's never gonna end. They even after my firing, the employer still was like doing malicious things to me. Just things that didn't warrant anything. Just wanting to get me in trouble for something. Like I guess they had a vendetta. I don't know. I don't know how to say it. Because once I left a job, I would leave the person alone, but they kept coming. They've sent emails out to certain people saying that they should not converse with me anymore. Other employees that, why would you tell people that? I mean, sent a picture of me through an email saying that I'm banned from the property. If I am on the property, please call the HR director or the compliance officer, which neither of those people are law enforcement. So why would I call them? Why would they call them instead of law enforcement if I'm such a threat? I have never been in trouble a day of my life. I take pride in that, and I don't understand why they are trying to taint my my being, like define my character, like.
Now, if a mom or a caretaker would want to reach out to you,
Mhm.
because similar experience, or they don't know, would they be able to reach? Are you
Yes.
available? Like, how could they get in touch with you?
Yes, you can call me on my personal cell phone. I'll take your call, or you can email me. I'll give them both to you so you can put on the link.
Show notes. Okay, so yeah, we'll make sure that we have them in the show notes because there's so much to this episode.
Yeah, it's very, very, very
So much, so
complex.
much. You told me before we started.
Yeah,
You said,
yeah.
you told me before we started.
I need to come back and tell you how it all
I
ends.
would love for you to do that. I
Yes,
would. I really would.
yes.
Because you've been through so much. Your family has been through so much. And, sometimes it is hard to understand, like, why is this happening? Like, why can't I catch a break? Especially, again, anything that happens to our kids, it's
But don't let
just,
it break you.
yeah.
It broke me for a while, but I had to get back up and put my big girl
Mhm.
panties on for my baby because August 15th showed me I had to, you know? So I would say, and also I wanted to quit. I was in school for my doctoral. I wanted to quit school and I wanted to do a lot of things, just quit a lot of things, but I didn't because I said these things was why Bayani was alive. And if I was to quit them, they would be all in vain. I'm going to complete everything I started while he was alive because there's time that I could have had with him that I did not. And I'm going to finish it for him. So I'm still in school for my doctorate. And I also just became an appointed CASA, like a court
Oh,
appointed.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for
Yes.
coming all the way here, for sharing your story. I think it's just, and this is so much more impactful just being in your presence.
Mm-hmm.
I thank you for being on the show.
Yes, ma'am.
We will make sure the information that you need gets into those show notes. Definitely reach out to DeAngela. I mean, shoot, she's giving you her phone number.
Yes.
If you need support and you need help. And so,
Another one is California Employment Lawyers Association. It's a nonprofit organization that supports attorneys who represent workers in employment related legal matters. Their mission is to promote justice for workers and improve the rights of employees across California. They made this bill called the AB 524, and they showed us how we can get this bill or something like it started in our state or in our parish. It's it's only like, where is it? There's somewhere.
But we definitely we can get that information.
Yeah, I'll give it to you.
Yeah, we'll
Yes.
definitely get that information in there in the show notes because
Yes.
there's
It's a lot of things out there to help us
Yeah.
that I just had to I did it just by sitting down on the computer and just calling and just emailing people to get help, and they will answer you if they can help you.
But again, thank you so much for being on the show. Thank you for just being so transparent.
I want to say one more thing in closing. I want to dedicate this episode to Brayden. I will not change you for the world, but I'm trying my hardest to change the world for you. Love, Mama. To Bayani, your time with us was brief, but your impact is eternal. I dedicate every step I take, every fight, every finish, every dream to you. You are my light, my legacy, and my reason for keep going. Love, always, Mama. To parents of children with disabilities, I always remember our children are not a distraction from more important work. They are the most important work. Their joy, their safety, their future is worth every fight. With love and solidarity, DeAngela Kashan Francis Johnson.
Thank you for that. Thank you. And we're going to end there. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
It was nice to be here.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.